Well, hello, welcome to Blender Stuffs. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to make a fidget spinner in Blender. This tutorial is gonna be of 3 parts, and this is the first part. So, let's start already. I'll start deleting these stuffs as usual. Then add a cylinder. Under this menu, I'll make the vertices count 16. Now before we start, I would like to go to Scene Properties, and under Units, I'll set the length unit to centimeters. This is so that we can set the dimensions easily. To do so, press N to see the N panel. I'll hold left click, then drag down so that the Y-axis is highlighted as well. Don't set the Z-axis now. Then let go and you will be able to set X and Y-axis at the same time. This will be the diameter of the cylinder in this case. I'll set it to 28.8 centimeters. In real life, this will be of the order 28.8 millimeters. The reason I chose it to be in centimeters instead is that it is pretty hard to handle small objects like that. I'll set the Z-axis to 7 centimeters, which will be the overall width of the fidget spinner. I'll press Shift-D to duplicate it, then right-click to keep it in its actual position. Now we can just select one of the 2 overlapped cylinders and set the Y location to 25.6 centimeters. Then select the other one, set its diameter to 23.5 centimeters like we did before. Then set the location on the Y-axis to 26.2 centimeters, but this time on negative Y-axis. Now I'll press Ctrl-A and apply the location so that its origin shifts to the world origin. Then add an array modifier. Uncheck the relative offset and check the object offset. Add an empty and go to the array modifier, then using the eyedropper tool select the empty. You can see it's not behaving as expected. That's because our scale is not applied. To apply the scale, press Ctrl-A, then Scale. This will fix our problem. Select the empty, then press R-Z to rotate it on Z-axis. Then type 120 on the keyboard. And do the same for this one. Apply the scale and location. Now instead of applying the array modifier and adjusting the settings again, we can just copy the previous one. To do so, I will select the one to which we will copy the modifier and then select the one from which we will copy. Then select Copy to Selected. This will copy the array modifier with all its settings preserved. You can do this with any modifier. Now we can just move the empty to a new collection, naming it Extra. And hide it for now. Select the bigger cylinder and tab to Edit Mode. Go to Face Selection Mode. From this point of intersection, select this face. And to this point of intersection, hold Ctrl and select this face. Press X to delete these faces. Press Alt-Z to enable X-ray mode and box select these faces. You can also enable X-ray mode from here. Make sure that the bottom face is selected as well. And then delete them. Now apply the array modifier in object mode. Press Slash to enable local view. Tab to Edit Mode. Enable Edge Selection Mode. And select these edges. And press F to fill it for a face. Do the same for the rest. Alt-left click on this edge to select this edge loop and press F to fill it. Do the same for the lower part. You can enable face orientation to see normals are facing right direction. In this case things are good, but if you see any red faces like this, that means normals are not facing the right direction. To orient the normals in correct direction, select everything pressing A. And then press Shift-N to recalculate normals. This is important so that the modifiers works correctly, the texture and shading looks correct, so that it renders correctly. You can disable it now. Press / again to exit local view. These smaller cylinders will work as Boolean cutters to give the shape of the fidget spinner. You can rename it if you want. Tab to edit mode and scale them on the Z-axis so that they don't intersect and the Boolean modifier works correctly. Go to End Panel, and then Edit to use Bool tool. If you don't see Bool tool or the Edit panel, go Edit, Preferences, Add-ons and search for it, then enable it from here. Now to use the Bool tool, select the object used as cutters, then the main object. Go to Bool Tools, and select Difference. But you will have to manually apply it if you use brush Booleans, so we will use Auto Boolean instead. Now we got the basic shape of the fidget spinner. Now from the project folder linked in the description, go to Ref Images and load this image. Press Alt-G and Alt-R to clear location and rotation. Scale it smaller and try to match the outline with the reference image. Just match it roughly. Tab to Edit mode and select this face. Press I to inset and match with the reference image like that. Now we want to symmetrize it to the bottom face as well. To do this we will use the Auto Mirror add-on. You can enable it from Preferences if you haven't. We want to symmetrize along the Z-axis and orientation in positive direction. And then press Auto Mirror. Select this edge loop and press Alt-S and scale it inwards. Adjust it so that we get a nice curvature here. Now we can start modeling the outer weights. Let's add a cylinder again with 16 vertices. Set the Z dimension to 7 centimeters. Hold and drag till the y-axis is highlighted, then drag to left to adjust the diameter of the cylinder. I'll set the Y location to 25.6 centimeters again. Now scale it pressing S then Shift Z to omit the Z-axis. Try to match with the reference. Shift D to duplicate, I'll use it as Boolean cutter. Hide it for now. And the other one as the outer weight. Now hide the outer weight and unhide the cutter. Apply the scale and location. Apply our array modifier and select the same empty used before. As this will be the cutter, so we don't want it to intersect. So we will scale it on the Z-axis in edit mode so we don't have to apply the scale. Then select the cutter then the main body. Then add a difference Boolean modifier. Unhide the outer weight. And copy the array modifier from cutter object. Select the main body and select Apply All to apply the Boolean modifier. Go to Local View pressing /. Go to Edit mode and select these two vertices and press J to join them. Do the same for the rest. Join these vertices as well. Now press K to use the knife tool. Left-click on this vertex. Now we want to snap the vertex to the mid of this edge. To do so, hold Shift, it will snap to the midpoint, left-click, then right-click to make another cut. Also make a cut here. Snap to midpoint. And same for this one. And press Enter to confirm the cut. We will get rid of this end gone afterwards. Do the same for the rest. Use auto mirror to symmetrize on the z-axis. Inset this face. To make this face circular, we will use loop tools. If you don't have this add-on enabled, enable it from Preferences. Then right-click, Loop Tools, and select Circle to make it circular. Then scale it according to reference. Select these vertices and scale them a bit away like this. Match the distance from here. Press E to extrude and drag down till it stops moving. Then delete this face. Now press K to use knife tool again, click here and shift left click here, till here, and left click here. And enter. Do the same for the other segments. Shade Auto Smooth. Go to Object Data Properties and increase to Auto Smooth Angle to something like 60. Or you can just drag left or right to see which angle works best for you. Apply a bevel modifier. Let's set the segments to 2. Now you can set the angle value to same as we did for Auto Smooth. Enable Harden Normals. Also, let's add a subdivision surface modifier. But the edges doesn't looks right. To fix this, go to Edit mode and select Edges. And press Shift E, then press 1 on your keyboard to make a crease with value 1. Keep the sub D modifier above the bevel modifier. Now let's select a shiny matte cap to check the shading. You can see there are some artifacts. To fix this, select these edges. Then go to In Panel Item, then under Edges Data set the mean bevel weight to 1. Now we can use this weight to bevel them. Add a bevel modifier. Let's disable them for a while. Set the limit method to weight to have access to those vertices. Set the amount to 0.1 centimeters and segments to 2. Enable them now. To get rid of these hard angles, move the bevel modifier above the sub-D modifier. Under Profile, set the shape to 1. Let's move this empty to the Extras collection and rename the main body. So that's all for part 1. In the next part we finish modeling by detailing the outer weights and modeling the bearing. And in the third part we will texture it. So thanks for watching, see you in the next part.